Hey there, my name's Miranda and welcome to another video. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 favorite classics. Now I probably haven't read nearly as many classic works as some people, but I have read my fair share. I definitely have a preference as to which ones I will read because there are some I've looked at and just decided there is no way I'll be able to get through them. In particular, I mean Charles Dickens. To this day, I'm still upset with how long it took me to complete A Tale of Two Cities. That book's not that long. It should not have taken me as long as it did. These 5 books, however, are ones that I absolutely adore, and they're ones that, quite frankly, I've also reread once or twice. First up is a children's classic. I don't quite remember when I first read this, though I'm almost positive I was maybe a little older than the original intended age group. But that is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I love The Secret Garden. It is an adorable book. This book follows a little girl by the name of Mary who has recently been orphaned and has gone to live with her uncle in the moors. One day while exploring her uncle's grounds, she comes across this beautiful little, if rather unkept, garden. She then decides to bring this garden back to life. I love this little book. It is absolutely adorable. It is enchanting. It's charming. And honestly, it is an amazing feel-good read. Next is a book that I do kind of remember reading as a kid. I think it is also technically classified as a children's classic, and that is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. This is a very old copy of mine. I've had this for many, many years. I remember particularly I picked up this book because as a kid and even now, one of my favorite animals are horses. So I remember my parents bought me this book because they knew how much I loved horses, so they figured I was probably going to enjoy this book quite a bit. Once again, they were right. Unlike The Secret Garden, however, this book isn't all fluffy and enchantment. This book definitely has harsher themes for the treatment of animals during the time frame when this was written. For those of you who don't know what Black Beauty is about, this book follows the life of a horse named Black Beauty. I haven't really read many other books like this. After about a certain point, I stopped reading a lot of books with animals as the main characters. But I know no matter how many years it's been, I still love this book. Next up is a book which was a bit of a surprise for me. It was given to me as a gift many years ago. I had never even heard of this book until then. And that is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Little Women follows the 4 sisters of the March family, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. And the book begins during the Civil War and follows them into their adulthood. I love this book. I think it's a feel-good book. I do know there is, as some people who watched my Firefly Tag video, there is one part in this book that is devastating. But every time I think back to what I remember in here, it always puts a smile on my face. I do know the author has written a couple other books about the sisters in here. I have not read them yet because I keep trying to find it in a bookstore hoping I'll come across it, but apparently this is her most popular work, which I understand completely, but it means this is essentially what you find and not much else. Oh well, someday I will read the rest of them. Someday. Next up, and this is a book I will admit I only read it because I watched the series, absolutely adored it, and decided I needed to see just how different the book was. And I will say I like the book just as much as I did the series. And that is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. It actually took me a long time to find this copy. I could have ordered it online, but I was absolutely determined I was going to find it in a bookstore and purchase it. And it took a while. This book follows a young woman by the name of Margaret Hale who is forced to move from her home in the south of England to the industrial North England. And there she has to deal with the vast differences between the North and the South. I really like this book. It is a romance, and I absolutely adore the romance that's in this book. As I said, I love this as much as the TV series. I knew what was going to happen because I'd already seen it, but that didn't diminish my enjoyment of this book. It was a wonderful little book. I've considered reading more by Elizabeth Gaskell because of how much I enjoyed this, but I haven't yet decided what I'd like to read because this is the only real book by her that has kind of appealed to me. The others haven't appealed to me as much. And last, but certainly not least, and anyone who knows me knew that this was coming, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is my favorite book of all time. It was gonna be included on here. I enjoy Jane Austen's works in general. I've only ever read 3 so far, so including Pride and Prejudice, I have also read Emma and Sense and Sensibility. I've yet to read Mansfield Park, Northanger Abbey. But I absolutely adore Pride and Prejudice. It is my favorite book of all time. I'm constantly rereading this, as you can mildly tell. This was a secondhand copy, but I've definitely added to the wear and tear. For those of you who don't know, Pride and Prejudice follows a young woman by the name of Elizabeth Bennet, and she is one of the 5 Bennet sisters. And it follows her life after she meets the rather arrogant Mr. Darcy. I love this book. I love the romance. I love the characters. I love everything that happens in this book. I'm, like I said, constantly rereading it, even if it's just little sections. This is the book that got me into reading classics. Without this, I never would have read the books I've just showed you. So one of the biggest reasons this is my favorite book of all time isn't just because of the story, it is because it introduced me to an entirely different genre of literature. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos by me, both bookish and travel related, please be sure to click that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you next time. Bye!